Now, you've written a book called It's Okay to be Angry About Capitalism. So why are you angry?
I'm angry because in my country, the United States, we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had in the history of our country. So the middle class continues to shrink. Working class people are struggling to put food on the table, but billionaires are doing phenomenally well. And furthermore, we have more concentration of ownership in sector after sector, whether it's agriculture, media, Wall Street, transportation. Fewer and fewer large corporations control what goes on in our country. And on top of that, you got a billionaire class in America that is able to contribute huge amounts of money into individual candidates and dominate the political system. So what we're looking at is a nation which is rapidly becoming an oligarchy. You know, we talk about Russia and Putin's oligarchy. Well, in the United States, we have an oligarchy as well.
Surely you can't be comparing Putin's Russia. We know, we've seen firsthand what's happened there
absolutely.
to the United
No,
States.
of course I'm not. I'm talking about, though, that a small number of people have much too much wealth, much too much economic and political power. That's what I'm talking about.
Do you think the Democratic president currently is really getting a grip on that?
I think President Biden has done some very important things. I'm not sure he gets the credit for that. But I think in the need to take on this oligarchy and to demand that we have an economy, not different than here in the UK, an economy that works for all and not just the few. Have we been doing enough? No, we have not.
If you care about inequality, do we need to look at what we do as consumers as well? You know, if you care about inequality, is it okay to shop at Amazon?
Well, I think that's a very good question. I'll let individuals make that answer. But what we should be doing, absolutely, in the United States, is being much more vigorous in breaking up monopolies. Amazon is a monopoly. They're not the only one. And what we've seen for many years is these large corporations become much larger, and we don't have administrations prepared to start breaking them up. Biden's people are moving. They're moving a little bit too slowly. They are moving.
And the other thing, I guess, is wealth taxes as well, right? Are we taxing the wealthy enough
not
in
at
the
all.
States?
Look, there are 500,000 people in the United States who are homeless. There are 85 million people who are uninsured or underinsured. We don't have a national health care system. And you got billionaires who have more money than they can spend in 1,000 lifetimes. How many homes do you need? How many islands do you need to own? How many jets do you need to own? How many yachts do you need to own? So I think we should say enough is enough. You are successful in life, you want to go out, you make money, good, become rich. But there should be a limit. You don't need $10 billion, you don't need $50 billion.
Is it right that you've been lobbying Biden to introduce higher taxes on the super wealthy?
Yes.
It is? And what answer have you got?
We will see what happens. I mean, he's moving, but not as far as I would like to see.
OK. Now, you mentioned healthcare, and I know that's one of the things you're pretty angry about, right? Here in the UK, we're pretty angry about healthcare as well. If you look at our system, you know, struggle to get a GP appointment, hundreds of people dying every week because they can't get ambulances on time. You know, some people might be thinking, this system, the NHS, is fundamentally broken. Maybe we should be looking at an insurance model.
Don't look at the United States. That's exactly the wrong direction to look at. Look at strengthening your own system. What this country did in 1948 was revolutionary. What you said at that point in the formation of the NHS, healthcare is a human right. Whether you're rich, you're poor, you have a right to go to a doctor and not take out your wallet. In the United States, the function of healthcare in America is not to provide quality care to all, it's to make billions for the insurance companies. So strengthen the NHS. You need more money, put money into it. But don't go the American route. We're trying to get out of that.
The Labour Party in the UK, one of the ways that they're looking at potentially strengthening the NHS is more partnerships with the private sector, using spare capacity in the private sector.
I would be nervous about that. I don't know all the details, but it sounds to me like the wrong direction.
Really? Because the private sector, you think, is...
Look, the function of the private sector is not to provide quality care. The function of healthcare is not complicated. Everybody should be entitled to the best care the system can provide. Not to have a system in which insurance companies make huge amounts of money.
Interesting. Another big debate here in the UK is wages as well. You know, we've got double-digit inflation, wages not keeping up, people are going on strike. But the government is saying, look, if we give you pay rises that match inflation, that's just going to stoke inflation even more. What side of the debate are you on?
Well, are they looking at demanding that the wealthy start paying their fair share of taxes? You know, that might be a better alternative. Look, Working people in the United States and in the UK are struggling. They're struggling with the cost of housing, the cost of education, everything else. I think working people, nurses, bus drivers, I think those people deserve decent wages. They need wages that can at least keep up with inflation.
And in the States as well, I guess that's
Absolutely.
something that you think...
Now, in the United States, we're also seeing a growth in labor activity. More and more workers are standing up, fighting back, striking, and we're trying to... Workers are also forming unions, which is a very good thing.
You know, it's interesting talking to you. You're obviously brimming with ideas. You're obviously still pretty angry about lots of stuff.
Well, I'm angry in the sense that with all of the technology out there, I mean, take a step back. And that's what this book is about, asking people to rethink things. You would think that with all of the technology out there, life would become easier for people, right? Mm-hmm. If I give you a tool that makes you more productive, you should perhaps be making more money or working fewer hours. Does anyone really think that's happening for working families? It is not. And this issue is going to get only worse with the explosion of artificial intelligence and robotics. We got to make sure that technology works for workers, not just the owners of that technology.
I mean, with the ideas that you're putting forward, if Joe Biden doesn't run again, would you be tempted for another tilt at the presidency?
At this point, we're thinking that Biden is going to run again.
OK, not ruling it in or out there. Very careful answer. Why do you think, I'm interested in this, why do you think in difficult times, and times are really difficult, you've outlined some of the reasons why it's so difficult for working families, people tend to, in recent years, tact the radical right, not the radical left?
Well, I think the demagogues all over the world take the anger that people feel. People should be angry. Mm-hmm. They should be angry that their kids, in many cases, are doing worse than they are going to be doing. They can't afford basic necessities of life. They are angry. And what demagogues say is, don't look at the people who really own the system. Mm-hmm. Don't look at the ruling class. Don't look at the people who cause the problems. Look at immigrants. Look at people of color. Look at gay people. Look at people who might be different than you. You're supposed to hate them. Let's rally around those, hating those people, rather than looking at those who are really causing the problems.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, we've seen it in the UK, in the States as well.
And in the States as well, of course.
Yeah, certainly. I guess what others would say is, look, you're coming from the radical left. We've seen what happens.
I don't think it's all that radical.
Do you not?
No.
That's interesting.
Not. Fighting for human rights, for economic rights, is it radical to say that every worker in America or the UK should earn a living wage? Is it really radical to say everybody's entitled to quality health care, quality education, affordable housing? Is it really radical to demand that billionaires start paying their fair share of taxes? I don't think that's radical.
I guess what others would say, though, is like, look, if you want to make a change, you can't just sit from the sidelines coming up with these ideas that sound great. You've got to win elections. You haven't won an election in the States. Jeremy Corbyn failed.
Well, I beg your pardon. I have won a lot of elections. I am a United States Senator.
That's true, for the presidency. You're right.
For the presidency.
I stand corrected. But you get where I'm coming from, that you have to compromise. You have to win from the centre in order to...
No, I don't accept that. In fact, the way real change always takes place is when millions of people demand it, and then suddenly you have presidents or prime ministers say, I think that that's a good idea, because they know that millions of people want it. At the end of the day, what struggle is about is working class people standing up and demanding justice, and the people on top will respond to that.
Do you think that perhaps politicians from the centre, I guess some would say more kind of compromising politicians, Joe Biden, perhaps Keir Starmer over here in the UK, they need to be a bit more radical?
Yes.
You do? You'd like them to read your book and to come up with a few of those ideas, take them on board, right?
Got it.
Now, you will forgive me, there is one constitutional issue in the UK that I'm really interested, genuinely, to know what your opinion is on it, and that's Scottish independence. Look, it might be something that you haven't given much thought to, but over here it's such a live debate because, of course, we're looking for a new leader of the Scottish National Party. And one of the arguments is that, look, Scotland tends to tack more left politically. They've obviously had a Conservative government in Westminster for over a decade. What's your instinct on it? What's your gut say?
Look, I'm not an expert on UK politics. I very much appreciate what the people of Scotland have done, what they're fighting for. And my, initial thought, not being an expert, they want to go their own way, they should be allowed to.
So you think they should at least have the opportunity to
That would seem to me. Don't tell anybody I said that.
Don't worry, that's just between us.
OK.
Don't worry, it won't go anywhere. And finally, because I know you're a busy man, you've done countless interviews over the years, including about your book recently. Is there ever, a question you think, I wish someone had asked me that? You think, why has no one answered me this question?
There are a lot of questions. In fact, one of the whole chapters on the book is dealing with corporate control over the media. All right. So in my country, I don't know what it is here. It's different here, actually. We have 8 major media corporate conglomerates who control about 90% of what the American people see, hear, and read. So it's not just a television network. It's owned by somebody else. It's owned by somebody else who control a lot of the media. And what ends up happening is it's not the fake news that Trump talks about. It's not that reporters lie. They don't, by and large. What it is there are areas that people do not want to talk about. For example, no one ever comes up to me and say, Bernie, what are you going to do about the grotesque level of income and wealth inequality? Nobody says, Bernie, why are we spending twice as much on health care as the people in the UK? And we've got 85 million people who are uninsured or uninsured. What's wrong with our health care system? Bernie, why is it that we are the only major country on earth in the United States not to guarantee paid family and medical leave? There are women I understand you have 2 children, right?
I do.
All right. In the United States, there are women today giving birth who will have to go back to work in a week or 2 in order to take care of their family. They do not get any paid family leave. That is pretty crazy to me. All right. So what we are trying to do is build a movement to address those inequalities. And media often just will not, because they're owned by very wealthy billionaires, and they don't want to stir things up. So I often don't get the questions that I think need to be asked, not just to me, but to other elected officials.
OK, thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.